If you own a home or any type of real estate, do this now. I have all the details and what you need to be aware of right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, so as we all know, real estate prices and valuations have been going up significantly over the last couple years. In fact, a $200,000 house at the beginning of 2020 could easily be worth $250,000, $270,000, $290,000, possibly even $300,000 today, depending on where that home is located around the country, which is actually pretty nice because now you're getting price appreciation and you're building some pretty significant equity in that home. However, as a result of this is where a potential huge issue is lurking, and that's what I want to point out for you right here in this video. So it may be time to start pulling out your files and or making a couple very simple phone calls. What am I talking about? I'm talking about your homeowner's insurance policy. Now stick with me. I know it's not very exciting sounding, but here's the thing. There's a couple details within your homeowner's insurance policy you probably want to take a look at and or talk to your insurance agent about, because the value of your home, I guarantee it, has gone up over the last year, year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years. The value of your home is now more, and if you have not revisited your insurance policy in quite a bit of time, you probably want to take a look at it because there may be a couple discrepancies there. You might want to get fixed up because I want to talk you through the details about that. Now, don't get me wrong. I totally understand insurance, it's not all that fun to talk about, right? But at the end of the day, what is insurance for? It's there to protect you. Well, as a result of that, I want to point out a few things because you may not have the necessary amount of protection that you actually need right now. And again, I know, not all that fun to talk about, but we got to be prepared because that is what insurance is for. All right, so here's what a couple things that I want you to either look at on your policy, and again, look at the most recent policy that you have. Sometimes they send it to you in a paper form. It's usually like a big, thick packet that they send to you. Otherwise, it might be online somewhere. Otherwise, if you don't have that detail, you can always call your insurance agent and discuss the details about this. But let me point out a few things that you want to pay attention to on your homeowner's insurance policy. So number one, first off, you probably want to know what your home is valued at. So, of course, you can go online. You can look up comps that have sold in your area. Again, you can do this on virtually any real estate website. It's pretty simple to do. You can just simply type in your address, and then you can just look at comps in the immediate area. In other words, look at homes that have sold in your area and see what have they sold for. And that'll probably give you a pretty good idea of where your home is currently sitting. Otherwise, you can go on some of these other websites. Like a very popular one would obviously be Zillow, and you can look at the Z estimate or whatever they have on there. And again, it's not going to be perfect, but it will get you kind of relatively close to where your home is probably valued. And again, if you don't trust any of these websites or if you want further direction, you could always call a real estate agent and they can look at your current market and say, hey, if we were to put your house on the market today, it'd probably be valued at about, X dollars. They could probably give you a pretty good amount as well. So first off, you need to know about what your home is valued at. And again, get yourself relatively close. Get yourself within maybe $5,000, $10,000, something like that. You don't need to be right on. Prices are fluctuating quite a bit, but get yourself kind of relatively close to where you think your home is valued at. Now, here's what I want you to do. Either on your insurance policy and or with a phone conversation with your insurance agent, discuss a few different numbers here. How much coverage do you have in the event of a total loss? Now, you should have coverages for this in the event of a total loss due to maybe a fire, maybe a tornado, maybe a flood, something like that, if you're located in a flood zone or something like this. Again, there's a whole different, there's a variety of different ways that you could have a total loss of your property. In the event of a total loss, how much coverage do you have to rebuild that property? Here's the thing. Based on the numbers that you just looked up online or you had a conversation with a real estate agent, and all of a sudden, let's just say that you bought a home, years and years ago, and you thought it was worth $200,000. Well, you look it up today, and it's now worth $325,000. Guess what? If you have not adjusted your homeowner's insurance policy to better reflect the current price of what your home is worth and the value of that home today, guess what? All of a sudden, in the worst case scenario, let's just say, again, I really hope that this doesn't happen to anybody, but let's just say that this happens in a hypothetical example. Let's just say that a fire rips through and you lose the whole house. That'd be really sad on number one, but let's just say hypothetically this happens. Now what? You go to your insurance policy because they're going to build you a new house, right? Well, all of a sudden you look at your policy and wait, your house is valued at $325,000 today, but yet you only have coverages for a rebuild of $200,000. Uh-oh, that means guess what? You got to come out of pocket by $125,000 in order to rebuild that house. It's not happening for the vast majority of people, right? So my point is, you got to look at this stuff because your insurance policy is likely out of date. If you have not updated your insurance policy in the last 2 years alone, I guarantee it's out of date. So you may want to look at this. Another thing, too, we want to take into consideration. Rebuild prices today are nuts. There's no other way to describe it than rebuild prices are absolutely through the roof because of labor prices, because of material prices, because of supply chain issues, because of lumber prices, because of everything else going on out there. The price to rebuild a home today is so incredibly high. It's unbelievable, right? It's actually kind of interesting. Where I'm located, there's actually a couple new developments within a few miles of where I'm located. It's nuts. Every so often, my wife and I, we enjoy going through open houses just for something to do, right? It's always kind of fun to look at new, shiny houses, right, like that. So every so often, we'll go through open houses. Here's what we found. So late last year, in the fall of last year, we went through a couple model homes. Again, really nice houses, just really fun to look at. Nice, shiny new product, right? We went through these houses, and they were priced at whatever they were priced at, right? Well, we went back like 2 weeks ago. All of these homes are now increased in price significantly, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why? It's because of material prices and because of rebuild prices. Prices have gone up on everything so much. The same house that we were looking at, say, 7 months ago at the end of last year, like the fall of last year, when it was priced then, it's now a couple $100,000 more today simply because of these reasons. Supply chain issues, lumber prices, labor prices, material prices, all of this stuff continues to go up and up. So, I mean, that's the point right now. Prices are rising so rapidly. Well, as of recently, prices have slowed down quite a bit. But my point is, when it comes down to your homeowner's insurance policy, you need to know how much coverage you have in the event of a total loss of that property. And again, we know, or we're planning on never losing our home to some type of, catastrophic event, right? Or tornado, a flood, a fire, something like this. We never plan for that. Well, do you ever plan for that? I would hope not, right? I think the vast majority of us are never hoping to lose our homes or wherever it is that we're staying due to one of these catastrophic events. But that's why we have insurance. We have the insurance in the event, something happens and there it goes, it's all gone. And now we're standing out on the street right in front watching the whole thing up in a blaze, right? Not a good situation. That's why we have insurance. And you want to make sure that you have the appropriate amount of coverage because all of a sudden, if you don't have the appropriate amount of coverage and we lose the home to some kind of event, then guess what? You might need to come out of pocket to rebuild that home, or you may be in the situation where, great, I can't do anything now. The insurance company is going to cut me a check for, say, $200,000, and it's going to cost $325 or $350 to rebuild the same house. Now I'm going to sit here with an empty lot with a burned down structure. What's that going to do you good for, right? It's not going to be any good. So here's what I want you to do. Again, look at your policy. And again, policies can be very confusing. If you're not very familiar with insurance policies and you're not sure what to look at, the language on these policies can be very confusing. There's a lot of words on there. It's like, wait, what does this mean? There's a lot of different numbers. There's like 19 different lines of coverages for like what seem to be the same thing, but they're not. They're all different. They all cover something different. But have this conversation with your insurance agent. Something else I want to point out for you. Shop around. Seriously, there's no law, there's no rule that says you can't shop around. You can shop around all you want. In fact, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, cell phone carriers, all of this stuff should actually be shopped on like a 2-year rotation. So you should be shopping these things like every 2 years. You should be shopping around for new homeowners insurance, new auto insurance, a new cell phone provider, things like this, because you can lock in such good deals as a new customer for any of these places. So feel free to shop around. There's a million different places that'd be happy to cover your auto, would be happy to cover your home, all of these things. So feel free to shop around. It's going to take a little bit of work. Yes, it's going to take some time. You're going to talk to a bunch of different people. They're going to ask for way too much information. And of course, you probably don't want to share that with them, but they're going to be asking for all this information. Here's what I would also suggest. Go to an insurance broker. Here's the thing. If you call one of these big outfits out there right now, Yes, they might be able to hook you up with insurance, but they can probably only sell the insurance under their company, right? They can probably only sell you the insurance encompassed within their company. However, if you go to an insurance broker, now all of a sudden, maybe they can shop, 25 different policies simultaneously. They can shop 20 different carriers all at the same time, and they can come back to you and say, based on the coverage that we're looking for, based on the value of your home, based on everything else that you have, we can go with this carrier, XYZ carrier, and they can give you the best price at, X dollars per year, whatever it happens to be. So feel free to do this. There's no law, there's no rule, there's nothing that says you can't do this. By all means, you can. And for the vast majority of people who have that own a home, you probably have a mortgage and you probably have your insurance paid through escrow. That's okay. It's not a big deal, because here's the one of the problems that happens with most people that own homes is you go out and you buy a home, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 15 years ago, you bought a home, you got homeowners insurance, you are paying through it, you're paying for it through escrow, and you haven't touched it ever since, right? Well, that's a huge problem, because I guarantee you the valuations of your home have changed, and there's probably a much better rate out there for your insurance policy than what you're currently paying. It's going to take a little bit of work, but it can absolutely be done 100%. It's not that hard to do. And I really want you to encourage you to look into this, because in the event of a total loss, you'd be really, really sad if all of a sudden you realized you only have a couple $100,000 of coverage, and now your home is worth, say, another $100,000 more or something like that, right? So anyway, wanted to point this out for you. This is very important, especially right now, as the valuations and prices of real estate have gone up so significantly here over the last couple of years. I mean, we're talking 30%, 40%, 50, even 60, 70% in some markets around the country. That's massive. And if you're sitting on a valuation and coverages that are significantly less than that, it could be an ugly situation. Again, insurance is there to protect us. Nothing other than that. It's there to receive a check from us every single year, and it's there to protect us. That's about it. When it comes time to pay the insurance premiums, it's never fun, right? But when there's some kind of event that happens and you need to file a claim, it sure is pretty nice to have insurance, right? If you've ever had hail damage on your car, let's be real, it's never fun paying for the auto insurance, but at the end of the day, if you get smacked with a hailstorm and all of a sudden you submit a claim, it's pretty nice to get a check for a couple $1,000s, right? I don't know, it's pretty nice. So anyway, hope this video helps you out. Again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. Thanks again. Hope this one helps you out. Again, stay tuned for all the other updates coming out here on the channel. There's a lot going on right now, and I'm here to help you out in any way that I possibly can. Until next time, enjoy your day, go back and check out those other videos, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.